When it was initially reported that Daron Payne was injured, I was like, oh, great. This is, here we go again. Now, it's no big deal. Just stepped on his ankle. They're being super cautious, have him in a boot, going to miss 2-3 weeks, whatever. What I'm hearing so far, so I'll just buy that it's no big deal. Anytime your first-round pick misses time, though, I think it's a big deal. But everyone says it's no big deal, so okay, I'll buy that. What I have taken so far, though, is he's blowing everybody away, right?
Yeah, so I'm thoroughly confused by the lack of concern here because just as you said, it's your first-round pick. He literally didn't make it to pads. This happened on Friday, and so on Saturday, on the first day of pads, Daron Payne has still never put on a pair of NFL football pads, but everyone's like, it's fine. Like, oh, really? But I guess it's just because they are so blown away with him. He is so extraordinarily strong that he's not a rookie in that sense. His body is not a rookie body. He is ready to play right now from a physicality standpoint. But at the same time, I guess actually doing it and getting those reps against, Brandon Sheriff, that's going to make you better. He's losing time right now. But I guess where the lack of concern comes in is he is so advanced in the playbook where he knows everything already that they're not concerned that they're going to throw him out there and he's not going to know what to do. He is as ready to play, I guess, as any rookie they've had. And that way they are not concerned. But, yeah, these reps matter. I always say this when, they say, oh, it's not a big deal, he's missing a practice, or it's not a big deal, he's missing a week of camp. If it's not a big deal, then why are you having it? What's the point? Football is too violent, even without pads, and there's too many guys running into each other or running around at high speeds that if it's not important, you wouldn't do it because it's too risky. So this has to matter, but at the same time, it's good to know that there is no long-term concern with Payne and that he is so far ahead of the curve compared to an average rookie that there's no reason to think that he's not going to be ready for the season.
The other note that you had of guys that are kind of nicked here, and there aren't really many, Mason Foster, Brian Quick, was Ryan Anderson. I've expected big things from this guy. I loved that pick last year, never developed injuries, whatever. And now already he's got back spasm, missed a couple days. Sort of what's his offseason been like? What are the expectations for him? Are people still high on him, or are we slowly fading on Ryan Anderson?
Well, within the building, they're high on him. They loved his offseason because he came in January after the season and just was so mad about the year that he had. The thing that was a front office for them goes, there's no one more mad about Ryan Anderson's rookie year than Ryan Anderson. So he knows that last year stunk, and there's no false pretense that he was good or that was in any way a success. So he came in ready to work with a much, much better understanding of what he needed to do to play at the NFL level. And so he trained this offseason accordingly. They really liked his mini camps and OTAs and all that kind of stuff. And then it was a matter of just getting him on the field in training camp. And I thought he had a decent day the day that he got hurt, too, and was kind of getting after it a little bit. So it's something where he's got to get back on the field, and he needs all these reps to continually sharpen his skill set so that he's ready to play against, real NFL tackles. And hopefully it's just a couple of days that he misses and he's back on Tuesday and can get reps against Morgan Moses and Trent Williams when they start really working back into team drills over the next couple of weeks as well. And this winds up being no big deal, but they need him this year. They've got Kerrigan and Smith, and beyond that, the outside linebacker, giant question marks. Mm-hmm. Because what is Pernell McPhee at this point? I don't know. Healthy is a good start, but he has not been healthy in a long time, and his production has been kind of a roller coaster. And then from there, I don't even know who's making the team. It's Pete Robertson, the fifth guy there right now. It seems like he's the guy that the most experienced. So it's Pete Robertson, who to this point is most famous for a dunce of a special teams play last year on a punt, or some guys that you guys probably haven't even heard of and whose names are escaping me at the moment anyway.
Remind me what Pete Robertson did last year.
There was a play. It's the one where it was a punt in the corner of the, a coffin corner punt, And
he just ran into the end zone.
He caught it and ran into the end zone.
Right. Instead of downing the ball, right?
And I can't remember if it was Quentin Dunbar or Fabian Moreau, but the other gunner or the gunner that was on that side's head nearly exploded out of his helmet.
You don't want that to be the one play that you're remembered for.
Right. So maybe he'll make the team and he'll have a couple of nice plays this year on defense because they have no depth at outside linebacker and he's going to play. I don't know. But that is a position where they need Ryan Anderson to get healthy because like that Pete Robertson, that's not who Pete Robertson is. Like that was an epic brain fart, but God, it was a loud one.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a funny one.
Yeah, it was. In hindsight, it is. At the time, it was a concussive type of face palm. But maybe that dude's playing outside linebacker this year because that is how thin they are there. So they need Anderson.
Getting back to Daron Payne, I think the coaches know how important the reps are. They just don't want to alarm anybody, alarm the fans, and make a bigger story than it has to be. It's certainly big when your rookie is going to miss 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, that's who's kidding who here. I mean, but he'll be fine. And with him and Allen, you expect big things with those guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Allen, Ioannidis, Payne, like as long as those three are healthy, then this defense has a chance to be good. And then those guys can play the majority of snaps. And no matter who it is that winds up making this roster, from Anthony Lanier to Ziggy Hood to Stacey McGee, if he can get back in the fold, he's got a surgery he's recovering from, and I don't know if he's going to be ready for the regular season. We'll see. But whoever it is along that defensive line, guys farther down the depth chart, Andre Pipkins, who's been around for a couple of years, practice squad, is he ready to take the step up and be a rotational piece? Whoever it is, those guys can play 15 to 20 snaps. Obviously, Tim Settle as well. But if Allen, Ioannidis, Payne are taking 30 to 40 snaps a game, then you're in good shape because you want your high-quality players to take the most reps, and then you want your depth to be able to spell them and get to a point where when your high-quality guys would fall off due to fatigue, you want it to be an upgrade when your subs come in. And so what happens is if it's just the natural order of things. If all of a sudden a guy like Ziggy Hood's having to play 30 snaps, basically snaps 15 through 30 are way worse than snaps 1 through 15. And now you've knocked off the level of player below him who's coming in, and just your whole depth and everything goes down and down and down. So as long as everyone can kind of stay in their lane reps-wise, I think they're set up to be successful, and obviously keeping Payne and Allen specifically healthy, Ioannidis to a slightly lesser degree, is the most important thing in that.